Okay, the next video I'm going to share with you talks about how to protect your afterlife in the digital world. This video is very interesting, and it's also kind of creepy. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'll let you watch. And kind of funny.
Used to be, you knew what to do with all the memorabilia of your life. You'd put it in a box to give to your kids, or you'd write it into your will. But these days, the most complete record of your life may not be in boxes. It may be online. All those photos, videos, daily events on Facebook, thoughts on Twitter. What happens to all that stuff when you move on to the great cyber cafe in the sky?
We have entered this time as a society where we're a bit ahead of our laws and our policies with respect to our digital property.
Evan Carroll is an expert on what happens to our online stuff when we die. He and his co-author maintain a blog, and they've even written a book.
Some states have laws, some states don't. Some people put these things in their wills now, some people don't. So there are so many different things that could happen.
Nobody crashed into that messy state of affairs harder than John Berlin.
It was just one more memory I wanted of him.
Earlier this year, on Facebook's 10th anniversary, it offered every member a beautiful 1-minute musical montage of his or her Facebook life. Jesse Berlin had died in 2012, and his father John dearly wanted to see his son's montage video.
Only problem with that was you had to be on his page to request it. I didn't have access to his page. I didn't know his password.
You ever do something crazy because you just don't know what to do anymore?
So he had a desperate, great idea. He made a YouTube video.
Zuckerberg and Facebook.
Took my iPhone, I propped it up on a picture against the wall, and I just poured my heart out on it to Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg.
All we want to do is see his movie. That's it.
3 million people watched his plea.
And by the end of the day, Facebook called me.
Facebook gave John access to his son's video and further improved its existing policies. If your loved one passes away, you can ask for that Facebook account to be what's called memorialized.
Whatever privacy settings that were in place at the time the account was memorialized, they allow those to persist. Your Facebook profile can become a memorial to you and can be a place for communal bereavement where they share messages.
On Google, you can specify in advance exactly what should happen if Google doesn't hear from you for a few months.
You can ask them to pass information to another individual. You can ask them to delete the account. You can set up an autoresponder to your Gmail account. Hey, I'm no longer checking this account for whatever reason.
Hey, I'm no longer alive.
That's a strange email to write.
Already, 30 million Facebook accounts belong to dead people. To some, that's a business opportunity. There are now websites that, upon your death, automatically send your list of passwords to someone you've specified.
Last words. We all hope we'll get a chance to say some, but not knowing when or where we're going to die makes it a bit tricky.
There are sites that send emails after you've gone, or publish a posthumous Facebook post.
It can be a bid farewell, a favorite joke, a long-kept secret.
Other sites serve as perpetual lockers for your photos and files.
So after you pass on, presumably your heirs or relatives who want a dose of Bruce could go up there, and what would they do?
Well, you know, they could look through the files.
Bruce Duncan is the managing director of the Terasem Movement Foundation. It runs this free website, lifenaught.com.
This is a picture of me when I was 3 years old. So they could say, well, that's great-grandfather Bruce, and that's where he lived when
Before
he was
the
3.
beard.
Before the beard, yeah.
Can you tell jokes?
LifeNaut and other sites also offer to create conversational animated versions of you.
I'll spend time teaching it.
So that, you know, you're not really gone at all.
Hey, I'm so glad to see you. What's up?
And I can say, hi, it's good to see you too. What kind of music do you like?
I love music.
Well, that narrows it down.
Yeah, so like...
Hello, David.
Terasem is also
TV, is that
experimenting
okay?
with an even creepier way to keep your memory alive.
Where were you born?
Like, I am originally from Los Angeles, you know.
Bina 48's looks and responses are based on a real person's. Bina Rothblatt, the wife of Terrasem's founder.
How far along is Bina 48?
So she is like the first, what I would call a pretty primitive demonstration of that idea.
Primitive is right.
Were you married?
And number 160, and number 160, and number 160, and number 160.
Are you quite all right?
160, and number
Evan Carroll isn't quite sold.
To be honest, I feel like some of those services are a bit of a novelty, and I wouldn't rely upon them to be here when I'm gone.
So suppose that I am someone who's very private and I don't want my stuff to live on after I'm gone. What are the steps I can take now?
The number one thing I would recommend you do is you make sure your family knows those wishes and they know where your files are stored.
Okay, and now what if I'm the opposite? What if I want my stuff to live on for future generations to enjoy? What are my best chances?
Well, it's the exact same thing. You want your family to know, these are my wishes, this is what I would like to happen. And of course, back up your content, because multiple copies keep stuff safe.
Because we all know there's only 3 sure things in life: death, taxes, and hard drive failure.
Absolutely. Hard drives fail all the time.
Cemetery headstones have not changed appreciably in the past 5,000 years. For the past 110 years, the Quiring family of artists and craftsmen have been designing original stories in stone to help families express their love, preserve their family heritage, and work through the grieving process. Today, our mobile population has further increased the separation of families worldwide. What hasn't changed over the centuries, though, is our desire to keep the memory of loved ones alive for generations yet to come. Quiring Monuments is now pleased to introduce an innovative new approach to memorialization, the living headstone. Quiring has created a new type of headstone which connects people regardless of where they reside. Our Living Headstone Memorial blends the timeless traditional value of granite headstones with the newest technology available to provide an interactive, living memorial legacy for future generations. Similar to a personal Facebook page, a Living Headstone archive site contains information you and friends can add about your loved one, such as an obituary, family heritage and history, photos, comments by friends and relatives, and even a map to locate the memorial in the cemetery. Quiring Monuments can add a link onto the memorial, which enables users of smartphones and mobile devices to scan and automatically connect to a personalized website, which contains family information in a virtual archive that will remain accessible for future generations. It can be viewed on the mobile device as visitors wander through the cemetery, or by simply typing in a unique web address into your computer internet browser. Although others may view the information, only visitors authorized by the family administrator can post information on the web page. This link can be applied to new or existing cemetery headstones, mausoleum shutters, cremation urns, garden benches, or as an addition to a public memorial. In situations where cremated remains were previously scattered, a miniature memorial plaque with a digital link is available for display in your home or garden, or even on a field stone in a green burial cemetery. Bring your headstone to life and share the memories of a loved one forever.
So these are just options. You can do, the great thing is you can do what you want to do, but make those wishes ahead of time. Okay, so just to share some resources with you, if you want to kind of dig a little deeper, you can go to Digital Death Guide, instructor.com for more information to kind of help guide you through this process for more things. mywishes.co.uk. You can go to usa.gov and do a search for a social media will and download a template to kind of help you start the process of, listing these digital assets and determining what it is and stating what you want to do with those digital assets. If you are a Google account user, if you're a Gmail user, you may want to do a search for inactive account manager, where you can designate someone on your behalf to manage your account upon your death or if you become incapacitated. And the same goes with Facebook as well. You can go to the Facebook Help Center on your Facebook account and go there. The second to last video, this is the book written by Evan Carroll, who is being interviewed on CBS with his book, Your Digital Afterlife. And I thought I would wrap up today by looking back and taking a look at Jesse Berlin's video that his dad finally got to see. Thanks so much for joining me today. For more information on group or private in-home instruction, please visit my website, danielteaches.com, or you can call me at 585-902-8450 or email daniel@danielteaches.com. Thanks, and have a great day.